When I was a kid, my parents were always fighting. I was always walking on eggshells. So I came to believe that if only I could do everything perfectly, that I would be good enough. But perfect is impossible, and impossible is stressful. Stress and anxiety became my new normal, but normal doesn't mean healthy. At 46, I found myself collapsed on my basement floor. I'd had a stroke. So my stress and anxiety skyrocketed my blood pressure, and my blood pressure caused my brain to hemorrhage. Here I was, well established for over 20 years in traditional healthcare as well as in multiple healing arts modalities. And now I find myself having to learn how to walk and to talk all over again. Having a stroke challenged everything I thought I knew. It even challenged who I thought I was. I mean, imagine me in a wheelchair in a nursing home at the age of 46. Now, you might be thinking, Sonya, I have stress, but I'm not going to have a stroke. Well, this is true. I mean, I had an actual physical stroke, but let me ask you, what is your stroke? I mean, it might look differently for you than it did for me. I mean, for some people, it shows up as belly fat, those stubborn pounds that you just can't take off. Maybe diabetes, heart disease. For some people, it shows up as brain fog. You know, when you just can't remember things like you used to, you have a lack of clarity and a lack of focus. And for some people, it shows up as burnout, like that, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. Stress, anxiety, and depression, it has you in its grip. So here's the thing. Now is the time to take action. Situations in your life, in the world, it can all be very disruptive. However, with every disruption, right, we have the opportunity to discover something better, maybe even something magical. So my magic moment happened while I was stuck in the nursing home. I saw that if I did not disrupt the status quo, I would never discover my ZaZaZu. What is ZaZaZu? Well, ZaZaZu is your own personal magic, your essence, that little special something that makes you uniquely you. So I researched and I studied and I invested everything I could for years. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sonya Sullins, and now I'm a life coach and a functional health coach. And since I believe we all deserve to find our ZaZaZu, I've worked hard to discover what that means, not just for me, but also for you. In this process, I discovered that the mainstream myths and misinformation is just so incredibly confusing. And this led me to learn the other way to look at things and create Disrupt to Discover. I have helped hundreds of women and men who are just like you to overcome what their personal strokes are. Right now, we are facing a big disruption. And today I want to share with you 3 strategies that will help you discover how to get your ZaZaZu. First, optimize your hormones to disrupt belly fat. Second, feed your brain gratitude to disrupt brain fog. Third, balance your nervous system to disrupt burnout. Let's start with belly fat. In times of uncertainty, like now with coronavirus, it brings up fear and anxiety. Anxiety about the future, anxiety about the present, and anxiety even that we pull forward from our past. It can consume us and hijack our bodies and our brains. The COVID-19 scare has caused many to binge eat, to stress eat. When you're socially distanced, And you can wear your stretchy pants 24/7. And you're just a few steps away from your kitchen all day long. Well, it's the perfect storm of weight gain and even declining health. But it doesn't have to be that way. What if instead use this time to disrupt negative patterns, to discover how to manage your hormones, reduce your intake of sugar, and conquer food addictions and cravings, even in the most stressful of times? This is more than vanity. This is more than just fitting into your favorite jeans. This is you. This is your health, your ZaZaZu. Almost 3/4 or 75% of this nation's adults are overweight or obese. And the health conditions that this creates are deadly. And as far as those genes go, well, actually, that is important too. How we feel about ourselves affects our confidence, our happiness, the way we show up in the world. It is part of our ZaZaZu. Now let's talk about hormones. My clients often find that their weight shoots up and won't budge when they're under stress. It feels like a vicious cycle because even as you're cutting calories, the scale goes up and up and up. Stress makes cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It makes it increase. And too much cortisol makes you store fat. And too much cortisol also stimulates your appetite. Double whammy. What else happens? Stress and anxiety cause emotional eating. And emotional eaters tend to binge. And they tend to binge on sugar. Now, when you eat too much sugar, your body produces too much insulin. And insulin is the fat storage hormone. So maybe you haven't struggled with weight gain yet, but if you have carb addiction, those pesky pounds are right around the corner. This reminds me of Kathy, one of my coaching clients. She couldn't stop the cravings. She would eat and you'd think you'd be full, but she found herself looking for another snack soon thereafter. So super frustrating. So then she went into strict dieting and strenuous workouts daily, like really working hard at this, and nothing would budge the pudge. What was her first step to working with me? She took my free ZaZaZu health assessment online. You can too at SonyaSullins.com. Now, what else can you do today? Well, start tracking everything. I know, it's not fun. You don't have to do it forever. But for right now, start tracking everything that goes in your mouth, food or beverage. I like Carb Manager. Use whatever app works for you. Because when you can measure what's going on, you'll know how to start whittling away the carbs to whittle away your waste. Great. Now let's talk about brain fog. Do you have brain fog? Maybe for you, it's forgetting where you left your keys, or maybe it's not having the bandwidth to organize or finish a project, or maybe it's that fuzzy feeling that makes learning new information really difficult. Brain fog can also cause feelings of anxiety, depression, lack of motivation. Did you know that chronic anxiety causes brain fog? So what should you do? Well, the same advice I had for you in the last section about belly fat, well, that applies here too. So just keep in mind, reduce cortisol, reduce your stress. And this is gonna go a long way in helping you to reduce your brain fog. Now, I just wanna share this with you too. University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio, okay? Did a recent really in-depth study that found that high levels of stress and the resulting high levels of cortisol, right? It increases memory loss and brain shrinkage. Well, brain shrinkage means cognitive decline. Now, the really important part of this is that these results happened in middle age. In fact, these test subjects were only 48 years old when they had measurable memory loss and brain shrinkage. So in this high stress time, it's even more important to have a strategy. And that is to really think about this little talked about fact. And it's something you can do starting today. Feed your brain healthy fat and not sugar. And if you do that, you'll be able to balance your hormones, reduce your cravings, and improve chronic conditions. And important here, it's going to improve your brain health. We talk in depth about this in my online coaching program, the Disrupt to Discover method. For now though, I want to move into another strategy that you can easily do for your brain. And that is to rewire your brain for happiness with gratitude. Here's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough. It's so true. Gratitude is said to be a natural antidepressant. This means it's a great stress reliever. It produces a feeling of long-lasting happiness and contentment. When we express gratitude, our brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and all kinds of great endorphins. And it's those neurotransmitters that are responsible for happy emotions. By focusing on gratitude every day, we can help these neural pathways to strengthen themselves and create a superhighway. It's a safe state of gratitude and positivity within ourselves. You see, when we don't carefully curate the environment around us, we can be exposed to so much negativity that we ourselves become negative and we don't even realize it. Like when I was in the nursing home, I felt hopeless and helpless. I felt like a burden and I was filled with negativity. It was eating me up inside. But I didn't have any extra bandwidth to be giving my energy away to negativity. But I couldn't seem to help myself. And then one day, as I'm struggling down the hallway in my walker, a lady stopped with a smile. Happens to be she was another resident in the nursing home. She said to me, "Oh my goodness, dear, you're doing so much better. Just look at you. I remember when you first got here and you were in bad shape." Ooh. And there it is, folks. Wake up call. It was time to start some heavy duty gratitude work because gratitude really does affect the brain. It releases toxic emotions, reduces pain, improves sleep quality, and reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. Now, I take you through a number of strategies and exercises in my coaching program so that you can find the one that feels the most comfortable for you and effective for you. But almost all of my clients love this one. So, your action step for today, start a gratitude journal. Now, maybe you think this sounds silly, or maybe you did one before and you don't really do it anymore. Regardless of where you are, if you don't make it a to-do on your list, it won't become a to-done. You probably won't do it because it will take some time to make gratitude a habit. Our mind naturally sees the negative. That's there as a protective measure. It's part of our survival instinct. So it actually takes work to cultivate this gratitude to come naturally within us. So I challenge you to start now and each day think of and actually write down or type, whatever works for you, the 10 things that you are grateful for. Now, don't worry if you repeat the same things, either the same things in the same day or the same things on a different day. Now, I love to do this exercise before bed because I think it puts me in a really good headspace for sleep. And don't worry if you have a hard time thinking of 10. I remember when I was feeling so low and so angry with the world. That's a story for another time. But I was feeling really in a bad place. And the only way I could get to 10, because I couldn't think of anything, the only way I could get to 10 was I was like, oh, I have 10 fingers. Now that might seem trite to you, but seriously, not everybody does. And I found like that was my point of gratitude. I'm really happy I have 10 fingers. So it doesn't matter where you start. It's okay to start small. Just start. And last, we'll talk about burnout. It could be mental exhaustion. It could be physical exhaustion. It could be emotional exhaustion. Burnout is caused by an excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet the burden of all the demands coming at you. Maybe you have a mid-afternoon slump. Maybe you find yourself with a short fuse that makes you snap at even the smallest things. You know, right now you might have a whole house full of family that usually you all are in your own place, and now you're on top of each other. Is that making you feel like snapping? Or maybe you suffer from fatigue that keeps you wanting to lay in bed all day. Now, remember how I felt when I was always walking on eggshells? And then how it became harder and harder to manage my stress and anxiety as years went by? And then my blood pressure got so high I had a brain hemorrhage? Well, you know what? I was in a serious state of burnout. It all caught up with me. And you know, it's shockingly common. According to WebMD, 75 to 90% of all doctors' visits are for stress-related ailments. The frustrating part for me was that I was doing everything I knew of to manage my stress, and it wasn't working. And just like when you diet and fail, when you try and do anything and fail, well, you feel like a failure. And I don't know about you, but feeling like a failure dramatically adds to my stress and anxiety. Burnout was consuming me. I was gaining weight for seemingly no reason. I couldn't sleep at night, but I was exhausted every waking minute. I was irritable, sad, and I had no motivation to do anything. The list was long and getting longer, but I now know something that I didn't know then. And I'm about to share this little secret with you now. It's something doctors rarely talk about. It is powerfully impactful, and you can do it from home and it's free. It's a way to connect your body and your brain to fix burnout. And we do this by doing something called improving vagal tone. Vagal, V-A-G-A-L. And that comes from talking about the vagus nerve. Vagus like Las Vegas. So vagal tone is an indicator of your overall health. It's said to be your ancient healing pathway. It's part of your nervous system, and it connects your brain to your digestive system, and it connects all of your organs and major systems throughout your body. It's connected through the C6 nerve, like the longest nerve in your body, and it's what's known as the mind-body connection. Okay? High vagal tone can make you healthier, happier, and more resilient, better able to handle stress. Now, can we say ZaZaZu? If you are easily stressed though, and you have trouble calming down after experiencing stress, well, you might have low vagal tone. The vagus nerve signals the brain to release feel-good hormones like dopamine, the serotonin, those endorphins we've been talking about. See, so you can actually give up your sugar and still get your boost of feel-good hormones. Now, you can improve vagal tone by stimulating that vagus nerve, okay? Now, it's just really interesting fact, actually. The FDA has even approved of a surgically implanted device that periodically stimulates the vagus nerve to improve health conditions. But We're not going to have to go to that extreme. There are many ways you can improve vagal tone for yourself. The techniques are free, they are simple, and they're effective. I'm just going to run through a list of them right now, just quickly, just to give you an idea of the variety of approaches that are out there. Singing, humming, and gargling, deep and slow breathing, meditation, probiotics, omega-3 fatty acids, exercise, massage, socializing and laughing. Well, sorry about the social distancing part. Anyway, and acute cold exposure. Now, we don't have time today to go through all of these, and we don't have time to go through an exercise that I like to take all of my clients through. It's a really cool exercise that actually uses methods 1, 2, and 3 from above, but all in one technique. It takes about 20 minutes to do. The more you do it, the more benefits you'll receive. But it's easy, and it's really relaxing, and it feels really good. And it has to do with using your breath and sort of being in a meditative state and using vocalization. Many people report feeling tingly or buzzed, and also that their mind is clear and they feel deeply, deeply relaxed. And then over time, you'll actually see the health benefits as well. Now, just to recap quickly what we covered today: get rid of sugar to get rid of belly fat. Practice gratitude to clear your brain fog. Improve vagal tone to manage burnout. Now, if you are interested in discovering insight into your inner workings, I offer a personalized ZaZaZu health assessment, and it's free. And you can take it at SonyaSullins.com. Your results are individualized and they're sent right to your inbox. And if you want to maximize your results, I also offer 1 hour of complimentary coaching. And again, that's at SonyaSullins.com. Now, I want to extend a big thank you. Thank you, White Dove, for providing us all this opportunity. And I want to extend a big thank you to you, to all of you, for being here. I will check back to answer your questions. You can also email me at Sonya@SonyaSullins.com. Now, before I go, I just want to leave you with this last thought. Your future happiness and vitality, your ZaZaZu, it starts with what you do today. What will life with ZaZaZu look like for you? Imagine how you will feel when you confidently jump in front of the camera. Imagine how you will feel when your memory never fails you. Imagine how you will feel when you are energetic, happy, fearless. You can do this, and I can help. Together, we can elevate your health and your happiness. Who is ready for ZaZaZu?